Growing up, I came from a very abusive home, and the first time I got pregnant, I was 15 years old. I had been in and out of foster care for a few months, and a man in his mid-20s took a liking to me, and I got pregnant. I'm so thankful that first pregnancy I was able to carry to term. However, shortly thereafter, somehow I wound up in a slew of really bad relationships, and one of them landed me in the emergency room in the Brandon Hospital. When I was in the hospital, the emergency doctor took a liking to me, and after diagnosing me with clinical depression, he somehow, a few weeks later, wound up at my house. I don't remember how that happened, and he got me pregnant. I had been on some pretty heavy medications, and so when I found out I was pregnant again at 19 years old, I called my family physician asking him what, if any, effects would happen to the baby. And he told me basically that the baby was going to be born with multiple disabilities or missing limbs, or that the teeth would never form, or they'd be completely yellowed, and it terrified me. I did a walk a few years ago from Montreal to Ottawa, and on that walk there was a doctor, and I had asked the doctor if what I had been told about the medication I had taken most likely causing this baby to become a blob or missing limbs or teeth never growing or the teeth being completely yellow, if that was true. And she told me that no, it wasn't true, that most likely nothing would have happened and that I would have just had a healthy baby. Had I been told the truth about that, I never would have had any abortions. Within 24 hours, I decided I was gonna abort the baby, believing that it wasn't even gonna be a baby. I went into a deep depression, and 6 months later, there was another older man in his mid-30s who, again, took a liking to me, and desperately wanting love, I got suckered and fell prey again and got pregnant again. When I was about 3 months pregnant with the baby, there was a family wedding, and I was basically told that I had ruined the wedding because I was pregnant again. And then 2 days before Christmas, I just gave up hope and I aborted my second baby. The drinking got worse and worse and worse, and I wound up drinking starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and going through the clock. You know, it was hard. I had night terrors all the time, and I was angry and I was depressed, and I couldn't really figure out what in the world was wrong with me, to the point that I'd considered giving my first daughter up for adoption because this was no life for her. Somewhere in there, I got married to this amazing guy who also couldn't figure out why I just couldn't seem to keep it together. You know, I had a great academic career and had everything going for me, but I had this secret that I didn't want anybody knowing about. The second abortion, I told everybody that I had miscarried because I didn't want to carry the shame and guilt of aborting a child because I was too scared to go through. And after having the first abortion, I thought what they said was true, that your body heals and you go on. I didn't realize that the repercussions would come months, years, decades later. You know, through that, still, it's been about 20 years now, and I still have weekly night terrors. I still dream about them. Sometimes I dream they're alive. Only to wake up and they're not there. Sometimes I dream about their broken bodies. Sometimes I dream that I'm in the middle of the abortion. Other times I dream that that the abortion was about to happen and I was able to stop it. And then I wake up. I'm super thankful that I know the truth now, and I know why I have these horrible dreams and how common it is for women who are post-abortive. But I wish I would have known the truth.
I'm the oldest in my family, and from a young age, I always felt like there was supposed to be more than just me. I was an only child until I was about 6 years old, and growing up was pretty lonely. So by the time I was 5 years old, around there, my mom was with someone who I called my dad, and I had said to my mom, "Mom, I want a sister." And lo and behold, I got a sister, and then I said the same thing, a year later, I want a brother, and I got a brother. And I found out accidentally one time when my mom was sharing her testimony that I was supposed to have another sibling, which was kind of shocking. And I remember her sharing her testimony and then all of a sudden looking towards me because she had never shared that with me before. I never blamed my mom at all because I know how hard of an upbringing she had, but I was still angry that it happened. Finding that out was really hard, knowing that there should be someone next to me in the bench in the van, with my parents in the front, my two siblings in the back, and me all by myself in the middle. It's as painful as if I'd known them and they died of some medical disease or an accident.
I just wish that there would be some justice for even the women who are today contemplating abortion, that they could at least know the truth about all the possible side effects instead of just being told that it's a simple procedure and that within about 2 weeks everything will be back to normal. Because for me, nothing was ever normal again.